This question from My Maths is about conditional probability. Conditional probability questions are the ones that say, given something, work out the probability of something else. I've written the probabilities in as percentages. If the probability Joe passes his theory test is 0.8, that's 80%. And that means that the probability Joe fails his theory test is 20%, because they're mutually exclusive and exhaustive outcomes. In other words, if you pass your theory test, you don't fail it, and if you fail it, you don't pass it, and there's no other option. That means the percentages have to add up to 100. The percentages for the practical test vary according to whether Joe passes the theory test. The theory test and practical test are not independent. The final percentages on the right-hand side are each a percentage of a percentage. So, for example, the probability of Joe passing the practical, having passed the theory, is 70% of 80%, which is 56%. The focus of this question, though, is how to calculate the conditional probability that Joe fails because of his practical only, given that he fails to get his licence. Well, first of all, let's forget about the condition. What is the probability that Joe fails because of his practical only? That means Joe must pass his theory test and then fail his practical test. The probability of that is 30% of 80%, which is 24%. Now, though, we're given some extra information. Given that Joe fails to get his licence means we know that Joe has failed to get his licence. So if you look at that tree and imagine 100 identical Joes taking the test, now Joe is part of the group of 44 who failed for whatever reason. Now we know that, the probability that Joe failed because of his practical only isn't 24 out of 100 anymore, but 24 out of 44. So that's the probability, 24 out of 44. But a key skill to develop in GCSE Maths is to read questions carefully and make sure that you've done what the question asked, but also done it how you were asked to do it. In this question, we're asked to give the answer to 2 decimal places. So 24 out of 44 equals 0.54 recurring, which is 0.5454 and so on. So to 2 decimal places, that's 0.55. If you want more free content like this, available online whenever you need it, then subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for notifications, like this video and share it with other people who might find it useful.